production. What is going on, Warband? Welcome back to Yeetus' Thoughts, episode 72. We at 72 already. It's crazy, right? Crazy. And this is going to be a very funny topic that I'm going to talk about because of the silliness of using the word patriarchy as a scapegoat for modern women. Oh, it's going to be hilarious. And I'm going to break it down for you guys very soon. But before I begin, I'm going to read the comments and then I'm going to chill in the beginning so I don't have to interrupt like throughout the stream. So if you want to support the channel or the Warband, or you just feel like donating, or you want to have a super chat, answer some questions, anything, go ahead and click on the link on top of the chat and donate to paypal.me/SirYeetus. All donations are very appreciated. Very appreciated. All right, let us begin. Let us begin. All right. I see MGTOW Maddie, Puditi to you all. Yeah, make sure it's a hymen though. Remember, no hymen, no diamond. Let's see what else. Rio, what's going on? Majora's Mask, what's going on? What's going on? Hype for the stream? Oh, you better be hyped. Oh, you better be. This is gonna be It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a funny one. It's gonna be a funny one. And I want you guys to participate as much as possible. I think this is going to be a good one. All right, that's pretty much it, right? Yep. So, question. Everybody in the chat right now, I'm going to pull something up. Let me pull it up right quick. Hopefully you guys can see it, right? So we are going to talk about the definition of patriarchy. So, noun, a system of society or government in which the father or eldest male is the head of the family and descent is traced through the male line. Okay. Second definition, a system of society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it. Okay. Last one, a society or community organized on patriarchal lines. So, when it comes to the patriarchy, right? It used to be that way, and it's still that way in a couple countries, how men they have the authority to exercise decisions of what's going to happen in the family. Okay, what he says goes. He's top dog. He's the king of his castle. But here's what Western women, modern women, they fail to realize again and again and again. Along with the authority, what else did men have? Responsibility. Oh, whoa, mind blowing. Responsibility? I didn't know men had responsibility. Because in today's world, men, we have all the responsibility, but no authority in the Western world. But based on the definition that you're seeing right here, right now, everybody in the chat, do you believe the patriarchy exists in Western societies today? Put a 1 for yes, put a 2 for no. Do you believe, based on this definition, the patriarchy exists? Does it still exist on a wide scale? Because in my opinion, no. I don't see the patriarchy even existed on a wide scale. Not at all. Not one bit. Not whatsoever. Because when it comes to modern women, they want all the authority, but none of the responsibility, right? We are in a matriarchy. I wouldn't even say we're in a matriarchy. We're literally the Western societies are being held captive by radical feminists that think they can do whatever they want, and if you tell them otherwise, that oh no, you can't do that, somehow you're gonna end up in jail or dead as a man. So Western society is literally being held captive by all these women, all these grown children, just running amok, doing all this crazy shit, and then blame you at the end. So here's I got a couple of memes. I got some memes on you right here. This one pretty much explains everything in a nutshell. Here, let me take this off right quick. Bam, there's my face. But let me bring this one in. So even when modern women actually get what they want, they actually get what they were asking for all these years, right? All these years, 100 years, a little bit over 100 years. They literally are equal. Oh, did I say equal? Because equal doesn't exist. They actually have more rights than men today. They actually have more power, more say than men today. And even when they have what they want in 2022, somehow, some way, they always want to point it right back at you. Like what it says in this little meme. Feminism is just a long con by the patriarchy to allow men to take their final form as stay-at-home gamers by convincing women that taking on more responsibility is empowering and liberating. Once again, they blame us. They blame us. What the fuck? You got what you wanted. You got what you wanted. Have fun here. Go have fun. Go be empowering. Go be. I highly doubt growing up men were saying this to women. It was their single mothers. It was these older women who pretty much failed at life when it comes to the biological narrative, and they want to put up a facade. They want to put up a lie, this fake image to these women. Say, oh, this feminism life is great. It's awesome. Oh Lord, no kids, no husband. I'm gonna be alone for the rest of my life. No man is gonna take me seriously. I'm just practice. Man, gotta love feminism. Because I highly doubt men will be talking about, oh, it's empowering, it's liberating, feminism. Oh, no. You once again wants to blame men because you thought that the grass is greener on the other side when you're marching along with those weird ass signs and wearing fucking, I don't know, panties on your head saying, "Oh, take down the patriarchy." Oh. You thought that you were doing some grandstanding, amazing thing. Women are free. The future is female. But reality has the ability to bring you back down. Just bring you down a couple notches. Okay, because with all this liberation, all this empowerment, all this freedom, all this feminism. Oh, I get to do whatever I please. You're alone. Oh shit. Who's gonna pay for my bills? Oh shit. Who's gonna fix my piping system? Oh fuck. Who's gonna mow the lawn? Wait. You gotta pay car insurance? Wait. I have to take out loans for school? Shit. Damn, I have to pay the loans back? Oh fuck. I'm in the house alone. I'm afraid to go outside at night. Oh man, if only there was a man that was able to fulfill his side of the obligation, and I can fill my own obligation, said no woman ever in 2022, because of course, when it comes to a relationship, they expect the man to do everything, and she does nothing. She just sits there. But my point is, even when they got what they wanted, this meme right here, somehow, some way, and I won't be surprised if this is real. This this text that you see right now. I won't be surprised if you find this on Twitter. Somehow, some way, they still blame men. Somehow, even when men are like, "All right, I don't care. Get the fuck out my face. Do whatever you want. Just get away from me. Get away from me. I don't give a shit." They like, wait, what? Eh, whoa, being a functioning adult is hard. Oh my god, it's patriarchy's fault. Oh, like, come on, bro, come on. We're gonna go to meme number 2 because I have a few memes. So much patriarchy in the West, huh, guys? Oh, the patriarchy. Oh, lordy. Oh, these Western societies, so much. Patriarchy is not even funny. Oh, look how oppressed these women look. Oh, God, guys, look at this. Look at the oppression that you're seeing on the screen. Look at that. Whoa. Whoa. The patriarchy. Oh man, so evil. Oh no. Guys, let's realize that women, they literally cannot get what they want anymore if they stop playing victim. I repeat, they can't get what they want if they stop being victims. Stop, quote unquote, saying they're oppressed. Literally. Because in this patriarchy, right? Does it look like this man has authority? But it looks like he has the responsibility of building and maintain society, make sure that it's functioning properly. But damn the patriarchy. Let me bring up another one, right? Because it's a similar meme to this. Similar meme. Look at that. Look at that. The patriarchy is keeping women away from having the same jobs as men. And look how many jobs, which there's a lot more, right? They forgot military. Um, they also forgot about IT, anything that's in STEM, etc. What law, what system is keeping women from doing the same jobs as men in 2022? Really? Really? I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear it whatsoever. What law, what system is keeping women from going to the same jobs as men? You're strong and independent, right? Why won't you be a plumber? Why won't you be a miner? Why won't you do garbage woman? Go to the oil rigs, construction, fishing, military, etc., right? And speaking of military, right? The patriarchy. Oh, it's so bad. The patriarchy. Yeah, as a woman, the patriarchy is so horrible. I have the choice to leave a battlefield, okay, when my country is under attack, and all the men in my society, they are forced to fight and die as young as 18 and the oldest at 60. And if these men don't want to fight and they try to flee, they could potentially get shot for desertion. They could get shot on the spot, executed. But me, oh, the patriarchy. Oh, how dare they? How dare they oppress me? How dare they let me go willy nilly and go to another Western country and most likely cheat on the man that's pretty much saving his life or he's dead already? It's laughable that modern women are complaining about the very same system that kept them safe from harm for years, thousands and thousands of years. But the system in the Western world, no, no. Men don't have the authority anymore in the West. Only when shit hits the fan, like what happened in Ukraine, all of a sudden they're not oppressed anymore. All of a sudden they need our quote unquote toxic masculinity, okay? Because you know all men are toxic, right? All of a sudden, all of a sudden they're fragile. All of a sudden they can't do. Oh, I'm gonna stay in the kitchen. I'm gonna do this. No, no, no. This is the worst time in history for you ladies to tell on yourselves. I don't know what's the phenomenon of modern women going on the internet and just telling, showing or telling their most horrible behaviors or bad decisions. This is the worst time in history for women to snitch on themselves. They should know by now that the internet is forever. Everything is documented. We can remember, we have proof on how you view men. The very same system that you talk trash on and want to shit on and saying the future is female, etc., etc. You turn around and say, "Oh, the men, yeah, the men should fight. The U.S. men, the UK men, the Canadian men, you guys should go over to a country that isn't even your motherfucking problem." Right? You Western men need to go over to a war that has pretty much nothing to do with you and go die for a country that has nothing to do with you. Don't worry about me. I can find a new man. I can find a new stepdaddy. Nah, you snitched on yourselves, ladies. That's on you, not me. You. Okay. This patriarchy thing that you guys want to bitch about so much, it's not going to be in your favor if shit hits the fan in the West. It's not going to be in your favor because we don't forget. We don't forget. And like what Channel 1800 Dumb said, there will be no kitchens to go back to. There won't be at all. If shit pops off here, if shit pops off in the UK, shit is kind of popping off in Canada, slowly but surely. All that shit talking you've been doing towards men, it's not going to end well. It's not. Not saying, oh, women are going to die. Oh, no. What I'm saying is you're going to have a good amount of jaded, angry men that are not going to be willing to help women in the shit hits the fan scenario. They remember. They're not going to... Men can't afford to forget their role. Men can't forget the past. So because of your actions, Western ladies, sharing on men, sharing on patriarchy, sharing on the very same system that shielded you from what's happening in Ukraine. That's on you guys when it comes to the consequences. Oh, shit. All right. Pretty sure I'm good. Let's see, should I put it right here? Yep. All right, guys. I'm gonna start inviting people in. See what you guys got to say. I want to see what you guys got to say. And while people are jumping up in here, I'm going to show again. If you guys want to support this channel, if you guys want to support the Warband, if you want to send a super chat, if you just want to send me a statement that you really want me to say, or you just feel like donating, please click on the link that's pinned on top of the chat to paypal.me/Yeetus. Okay. All donations are appreciated. All of them. All right, let's start getting people in here. I know one person is coming in here. I know he's already here. Damn. That was quick. All right. Time to add to the stream. Gray, what is going on?
Evening. Almost didn't make it. Just got off work now. It's fucking blizzard out there.
Oh, it's getting pretty bad out there?
Oh, it's been a blizzard all day, man.
Yeah. For some reason, out of nowhere, a couple of days ago where I'm at, there's a huge thunderstorm and the temperature went up like 30 degrees. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everything melted, and then a couple days later, it all came back down. Big freaking storm, so.
Right. I'm like, oh, so this is what they mean by global warming, huh? Oh, shit. Let me add Carry On as well. What's going on, Carry On?
I'm good. My internet's good, so.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to start with Gray. Let me put the names back up right quick. Bam. All right, Gray, based on, the little rant I, just did, what's your perspective on women shitting on the very same system that kept them safe?
Well, actually reminds me of children and how children will bitch about their parents.
Pretty much.
Like that basically is what it comes down to. And I don't know if you ever saw the old Jimmy Neutron movie, but remember, like, all the kids in town sneak out to the amusement park, all the parents get abducted, and then they spend a couple days doing whatever the heck they want and basically destroy themselves.
Yeah, I remember. Was that in 2005, 4? It was around there.
Yeah, around that time.
Yeah, I remember watching that with, what's his name? Carl?
Yeah.
And
Carl Weezer, Sheen.
That was my favorite person.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I see what you're saying, man. Like, it's literally, like, the mentality of a child. Like, when they don't get their way, it's man's fault. Man, patriarchy, blah, 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 blah. But then when reality hits, whole different tune. But men don't forget.
Yeah. Also reminded of a couple old Calvin and Hobbes comics. Like, there's one point where, like, Calvin runs away from home. He doesn't get very far, but then, like, it starts to sink in that he's trying to go somewhere. He has absolutely no idea how to get there. He has very limited food supplies. So he ends up, like, running back home.
That's the reason why they hate us. Oh, shit.
I want to say it's just any child. It has to be like a certain age range because children from, like, I say preteens or teens, it has to be around that era because if it was like from 10 and younger, children normally listen. And, like, they might have their antics and so on, but they'll generally listen most of the time. And they wouldn't have so much free will. But when they get to, like, their teens, that's mostly the point where people have that idea where they want to become a parent at the same time, but they don't know what, or they just don't care about their actions.
I see him rebel even younger. It really depends on how much leeway they're given.
Yeah, but you get more normally, and I say normally, it'll mostly happen around the early teens.
Well, you know, like when puberty hits and the hormones start going haywire.
But it's the fact that it's a grown-ass woman acting this way. Like, it's pretty funny, but pathetic to see.
Oh, no! It's not. I
think it's hilarious.
I grew in an environment where I've seen a lot of older women. Most older women want to go back to their teen ages. They wouldn't openly say it, but that's how they behave.
Well, of course, but I was talking about the patriarchy.
Yeah. I'm just saying that most of them act like that. Like, you can tell, like, when people are by themselves or they don't feel like anyone's going to judge them, they act how they truly are. And I've seen a lot of women that are, like, in their 40s, their 30s, act like teenagers. It's like, yeah, they might have matured, but inside they might well have the visage of, like, being an adult and so on, but inside they're still, like, teenagers. They haven't really grown past that level of just, like, self-reflection.
Well, if you think about it, now, this is actually something I heard, and it makes a bunch of sense, but as soon as a woman realizes that she can get away with stuff because she's desirable, that's when she stops developing.
Well, yeah, pretty much, because at that point, she doesn't really have to reflect, yeah, because she gets what she wants just based on her existence.
But the thing is, I've seen the same stuff, or at least, well, not firsthand, it comes more second and third hand. But, like, kids even younger, like, if you don't resist their behavior, if you don't discipline them, if you don't say no and put a stop to their poor behavior, they will continue doing it. If you don't say no, then they will either continue to do something shitty or they'll escalate.
That's like why the patriarchy shit is important.
Yeah, like, and this happens, like, with boys too. Like, if a boy is not held accountable, then he can go increasingly destructive and violent with time if the parents aren't going to put a stop to it.
Yep, that's why men need to return and be the head of the household, because that's pretty much his job, is to keep the kids in check.
Yeah.
You can't really expect the mom per se to have the same effect.
And beyond, honestly, and the thing is, you need strong fathers, because a
Strong
weak
fathers,
father,
yeah. Let me specify. Strong
like
fathers.
a weak father can be almost not as bad, but almost as bad as no father.
Right. I definitely agree with that. Letting the wife run everything, yeah, that will go downhill quick.
Even if like, this is the thing that annoys me, like when a father says he wants to be friends with his children. No, you're the father. You're not their friend. You can be a friend when they're adults. When they are a child, you are a parent. A parent is not a friend.
And even then, I'm not even friends with my dad per se, right? Like we got a great relationship, but no matter how old I get, that's still my dad.
But that's the thing. Like, at most, you could be friends, whatever these fathers think friendship with the child means, after they're grown ass adults and they're well established. But if you're trying to be friends with like your 10-year-old, you're parenting poorly.
That's what most single mothers do. So I've seen it all the time. That's what most single mothers do. They just want to worry about how their kids feel and not worrying about what the fuck they need to do to make sure that their kids are ready for the realities of the world. They only worry about how their kid feels and make the kid feel good. So the kid is not mad at what?
I wouldn't really say it's how they feel. I feel like they just want to do it so they can shut up. Most single mothers,
it's both.
Well, I think it probably falls under social approval. If you think of the family as a social group, and the mother has that inherent female desire to avoid social disapproval, if there's no father in the picture, then the only other social approval disapproval is the children. At least when the father's there and the father and the children can be opposed, then at least there's always a balance to be struck. But if it's just the children, then the mother is going to constantly cater, not even to what the children want, but what she thinks the children will want.
Yep, and it only gets worse when the children starts to become teenagers, when she's raising them by on her own. She, first off, is not strong enough or have that intimidation factor to keep the kids in check, right? Because she's eventually going to be the same height as the mother or way taller than the mother. So they don't have that intimidating presence. That's one thing.
And actually, it'd be a bit of a toss-up to be which should be worse. Raising teenagers, let's say teenagers start at the onset of puberty for the sake of argument. Is that better for a single mother to raise them alone?
No,
or you didn't hear the opposite one. Or to have a non-biological father figure.
A non-biological father figure is better.
Yeah.
Not the single mother. Fuck no. She failed automatically.
You think a stepdad's better than no dad?
Didn't have to be a stepdad. You said non-biological. It could be a teacher. Or
I was thinking about like.
Sorry. I meant like a stepdad or boy, or like a chain of boyfriends.
Okay, chain of boyfriends. That's ready to no go.
Well, when it comes to a structure of the family, and once again, I don't approve of single mothers. What's it called? Having a string of boyfriends. I also don't approve of stepfathers at all. But keep the nuclear family together based on this new age dating game, the stepfather will be better.
Because that's where I'd actually.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I've seen it all the time in my community. We have one of the worst single mother rate ever, right? Within my family, within the neighborhood. Once that kid reaches that teenage age, it's game over. She rarely has any control or no control at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have a lot of homelessness in the Black community as well, because when with young kids, and then the young kids eventually ends up in the system in foster care, because once that kid is being defiant, especially in the teenage years, the mother will kick him out of the house because she can't handle it. Especially when the kid talks back, just a few times, because that's what teenagers pretty much do.
Yeah,
But as a single mother, plenty of them, they can't handle that shit. So they literally kick the child out. The child is on the streets, and more likely than not, the cycle starts over.
yeah. I'm
You
gonna be
know,
honest. I be in that situation. Like I was raised like half my life. I'll say a little bit, or a little bit less in a single. I know I'll say a little bit less than half, more. I'll say a third of my childhood growing up, I was raised by a single mother. And like when I was in my teens, didn't get along because I matured and I was like, oh, he did some dumb shit. We got into arguments. And when she couldn't handle it because I was much taller than her at the time, she's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to kick you out of the house. It's like, okay. And we got to fights. And I was like, yeah. So they like, she'll get aggressive and angry. It's like, don't touch me and all that stuff. So yeah, when a woman does get to some point where she can't control them, she goes to drastic extremes, be it violent or the shy. She's going to start threatening them. So yeah, those are
because it
definitely what
also
happens.
involves how she feels. It always comes back to her feelings, because that's how she primarily makes her decisions.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that aspect, personally, a male father figure, whether it's uncle or older cousin, or even a single father or a step, personally, any man with a good head on his shoulders is a better alternative than a single mother.
Yeah, because not all single fathers are good people.
But
Yeah,
it's
no,
better.
now that's now the examples I was thinking of was like you mentioned like uncle or cousin. No, I was thinking more boyfriend, one with no biological ties to the children.
So within that family,
Like personally, I think that's bad because there's none of that like first of all, if you have male children, then it becomes a power dominance play, like between like the eldest male child and the stepfather.
Well, it also does depend when, like, they
the
became.
age of the child.
Well, yeah, it's like also
When
like, yeah, the stepfather got married into the family too. If like when they were older, it's definitely going to be more harder to like for them to get along than
right,
if
if
it
the
was younger.
child is already like 10 or 11 when the boyfriend comes in, yeah, I see that as a big problem.
And then there's the other thing, like if it's with a young girl, like
That's definitely bad.
yeah, that's like maybe a other coming in when it's just us. Oh geez, internet's going buggy. Is that? No.
It sounds good over here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, it's your graphics cut out, and that usually precludes my internet turning shit. Anyway, no. So that's the thing. Like maybe if there's a guy, personally, I haven't seen it be positive on my end, but there's a plethora of good examples. I can't say. However, if there's a single mother with a daughter, and then there's a stepdad coming in, like as has been mentioned on Chronics, there's like that biological pheromone barrier that prevents relationships between fathers and daughters which have direct biological ties. When you bring in a grown male without that,
I see where you're trying to go with that.
yeah,
And that does eventually happen to the point where mothers and daughters actually compete. I also see that in the Black community. Mothers and daughters actually compete, actually to the point where moms do kick their daughters out or kick their daughter's ass because she is threatened that the daughter is going to take the boyfriend.
Or alternatively, the mother permits it to avoid the social disapproval of the boyfriend.
Yep. And then she will eventually still get pissed off.
Eventually, yeah.
You know.
So like that, but that's the thing with the social dynamic. When you bring in another element that is loyal primarily to themselves, and then the mother has to make the choice between, oh, do I go with the strong male figure or do I go with the children? If it's the father, ideally, the strong male figure has the children's best interests in mind. When you bring in a stepfather, that biological need to look after your kids isn't there so much.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. That's an exception. I do see what you're saying with that. Okay, but everybody else is a good alternative.
Yeah, like if it was like grandparents, uncle, like some sort of family relation, then yeah, most of the concerns I have.
But in the end, I know single mothers, but like I said in my last stream, are literally the burdens of society, mainly because of that scenario that she put herself and her kids in. It's beyond horrible. And they eventually, for some fucking reason, they'll blame patriarchy. It's pretty fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But on average, a single father or a male father figure within the family will run circles around single mothers. It's just that single fathers, you don't hear them bitching and moaning about.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not talking about single fathers in exclusion. I'm talking like a single mother with another man.
Yeah,
I agree with all that.
Yeah, no, like a single father solo is like 99 times out of 100, a single father solo is going to do better than a single mother.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I guess you could put like different types of mothers into certain rank. Like a decent mother and a decent father will be the top, and after it'd be at the bottom be a single mother. It could be a single mother with like a shitty guy, because a shitty guy can fuck up a child. Like if you have a shitty guy, sometimes it's better to be by yourself than be with a shitty person. So yeah.
See, that's why I say it's a big advice, to actually have males in the family to have strong say on whether this guy's a douchebag or not, right? At the best possible way, because at times, if that guy was shitty, more likely than not, he was already shitty from the beginning.
Oh, I'm also talking about like the father of the children, talking about like stepfather or like some boyfriend. Like that'll probably be like the worst situation for a child.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. I thought you meant
no. Like, well, yeah, it's like I guess like the middle of the road would be like a single mother with all like a lot of male family members to be around them, so that they could have and a decent father, and at the same time, who like they didn't get along but they separated, and the guy's still around. That'll probably be like the most middle of the road. It's not the best, but it's like this is the most best situation you can get if you're not with the guy anymore, to have a lot of family members that are male and smart or reasonable, and have the guy still around and he's not a complete fuck off or some shit like that.
Yep, I agree, because how men does it when it comes to relationship. If she's not, masculine men, strong men, she's not doing her end or doing what she's supposed to do when it comes to being a mother, being a wife, or being a girlfriend or whatever, we kick her out. Better for her to be a girlfriend though. But you get rid of her. Like, no, get out.
Oh God! Imagine if you were a single father that got a girlfriend, and then you broke up with the girlfriend, and the government ended up giving her custody of the children.
Yeah, that man would rather go to jail. Yeah, I can't. No, that man
happening though. That would be. Oh God!
That would be a hockey mask time.
Seriously, if that hasn't happened already, you can imagine that's probably going to start happening within the next 10 years or so.
Oh, that would be.
I think it might have happened.
That's the thing. It might have, but like you combine single fathers being like so exceptionally low, but that has to have happened at least once by now.
Damn, some random girl you've been dating for like 4 months able to take the kids?
And get your child support out of it too.
Nah, I'm going to jail. I can't. Nah, I'm going to jail, bro. What the fuck? Hell no. No. But how do you guys feel when it comes to the patriarchy situation? The how do I say? The hypocrisy of women in the workforce, right? I showed a meme talking about, oh, men won't let women join the hard jobs, blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's not that we won't let them; it's that they can't fucking do it,
or they don't want to
pick it.
Yep.
Oh, I guess they'll do it for a day or two,
but their body will crumble like a fucking crouton. Oh shit.
Yeah, that's the and they wouldn't necessarily. That's the thing. Like that's military stuff where minimum requirement. But like, let's be honest. Like, say you're pouring cement, you could absolutely hand out women-sized cement packages that are half the weight.
That sounds like a waste of time, though.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But if you had all-female construction teams and they couldn't handle like 80-pound bags of cement, then hey, there's a demand for 40-pound bags. And it's not like concrete only comes in one bag size anyway.
I see what you're saying, man. But it's the fact that they're like, oh, we want to go to the jobs, we want to do the jobs, Why
they
is
don't,
there no
they don't want to do. They don't want to do the jobs. They want to be They want to be CEOs.
Yeah, I know. They don't want to do the hard work. They just want all the benefits, like everything else in life. But it's just too funny, right? Because they're like, oh, why aren't there more women in STEM? Why aren't there more women doing garbage trucks and?
Okay, no, they don't talk about garbage trucks. They talk about STEM. They don't talk about the garbage trucks and all the other stuff.
Well, a few examples were these, fat feminist pigs. They were actually, talking about that. I'm like, okay, it's not the majority. I was just talking about the
and that's the thing is like they'll bitch about it, but that's just because they've heard it as a talking point and they're parroting it.
Yeah, and then
they could absolutely work in waste management. In fact, I've actually seen some women working in waste management right now. Like they're driving the big trucks. They're not fucking hauling 50-pound bags around. But they
all day.
That's the thing. Like they're not doing the physical work. They're driving the trucks.
Similar to construction. They're just holding the signs.
They drive the trucks, hold the signs, talk on the radio. That's basically about the extent of their duties.
Right. I'm like, how is a woman that never actually did my job as management, like is my manager? What the fuck?
Like, here's the funny thing is though, the irony, actually going back to the construction thing. So an all-female team not being able to carry as much, they'd inherently go slower. In order to remain competitive with men, they'd probably have to shave off their labor wages. They wouldn't be able to get paid the exact same wage for the exact same hours worked because an all-female team wouldn't be able to do the job as fast.
Yeah, I heard of a bridge that they try to make.
That's the thing. They design. That was female engineers that designed it.
It just collapsed, or because I didn't read the whole story.
Yeah, it fell apart and killed people.
Oh shit! I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like that's female engineers. That was, from my understanding, that wasn't errors with construction. That was errors with design.
Yeah, with the design. Yeah. And what's it called? I understand where you guys are coming from, right? Yeah, they can't do the job. Like, let's say military, because military is a mixture of multiple jobs, like construction, because we do have to move heavy shit a lot.
Combat engineers,
yeah, combat engineers, or you have to lift heavy equipment to carry around with you all day, or we got a very complex task that needs to be done, like a specified mission. that could take all day. When it's only men, you know, in my experience, oh yeah, we were cruising, having a good time, you know, drink some Red Bull, smoking some ciggies, and chewing on some dip, all that crazy shit, right? Just talking about some funny shit, having a good time. We still got the job done, and we had hours to spare. But when we have a few women on the team, oh lordy, oh just I hear complaining, bitching, moaning, more complaining, my hips hurt, etc. Like I don't give a fuck. You signed up for this. You better start picking that shit up, strong and independent. Can I go sit down? Do you take a break? I'm like, does the enemy care if you take a break or not? Get your ass up.
Well,
Like,
I want you to
motherfucker.
take a break.
Yeah, talking about him will take a break. Go finish your fucking objective.
God, I've seen the same thing. Like in construction, woman doesn't even have to be on the team. Like if one just shows up and starts talking, bam, there goes hours. Like man hours of work get lost just talking to them.
Yeah, they don't like to. Well, because they can't do really much else besides talk, right? So, yeah, it gets pretty annoying, you know, because a lot of the guys they want to just get the job done on time so they can go home, you know, to the families. But of course, with the construction management or any type of management, it is like yeah, all up in your ears, woman splaining on what you should be doing.
I mean, bitching. That's cool.
That's the thing. Like even beyond that, just socializing. I mean, like there's some female clients where it's like, God, fucking talk and just hear out the life story. And I'm like, for fuck's sakes, dude, just make some bullshit excuse so that you can leave.
Yes. Yeah. Women have a tendency to just fucking just talk about the most random intimate shit that I did not need to hear about. Like, oh, okay. I'm leaving. See you later. You know, but it is okay, it's pretty I have a little bit of sympathy, you know, when it comes to the female soldiers because I have seen injuries happen at play where you know how in ruck marches, right? You guys know about ruck marches?
Yeah,
Nope.
shove a bunch of weight on your back and go march for a couple hours.
Yeah, we walk the least amount of distance is around 4 miles, and the longest distance I've done was 15 miles.
How much weight?
How much weight?
Yeah.
So in the beginning, it was because we had to work up to it. In the beginning, it was only 35 pounds, but then eventually got up to 55 pounds. And that's just the ruck. You know, it's not counting the, you know, the helmet, the Kevlar, the body armor, the weapon, you know. But the backpack itself, the rucksack, it topped at 55 pounds. And literally, because when we did, because it was a test, it was like the entire military base had to do it once a year. Once we got to the 12-mile ruck that we had to do, on the 5th or 6th mile, I'm seeing female soldiers falling out left and right. Especially a few of them actually fractured their hips.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know,
Their bodies aren't meant for that kind of shit.
Yeah, and with fractured hips, they are unable to have kids depending on the damage. I know. Yeah. It's crazy, right?
Yeah. Like that's the thing when it comes. That's when it gets to the patriarchy stuff. Like it's the problem is like it falls into two categories. There's idealized solutions to the problem that aren't going to get implemented, and kind of realistic stuff that we could do. So idealistically, like you'd find a girl at the age of like 14, 13, whatever, when they're still virgins and whatnot, and ask, do you want to be a mother or do you want to be a man? Yeah, I know that they're having that they're losing their hymens younger and younger these days.
But
That's the thing. You basically ask, do you want to be a mother, or do you want to be a man? And you brand them as such, and then it's like, okay, you are a man now. You don't get sheltered. You got to do all the fucking hard shit. Because that's where a lot of this sheltering of the women comes. Like, we're trying to keep them in optimal condition to have children. That's why we don't put them in these physically strenuous jobs where they're likely to suffer fractures that compromise their fertility or stress them out to the point where having children becomes more difficult. That's the primary concept behind it, is preserving the fertility of a woman.
Shit, that's why these tall buildings exist. That's why we have AC. We try to make shit as comfortable as possible.
Hey, AC sexist.
Yeah, I remember that video. But we make shit as comfortable as possible, literally, just so that she will be ready to go when she's old enough to have her own kids.
Yeah, and of course that's the problem, because we forgot why we're doing it.
Right.
Like, instead it just became like keep women comfortable to keep them in optimal condition to be mothers. It just became keep women comfortable because
that's what men do.
Yeah. Like, we lost sight of the objective, and then we focused on like, well, we need to keep it optimal to attract women. It's like, why? They're not productive. I mean, quite honestly, if you want to increase the productivity of your workforce, you should remove the AC from all your office. Actually, no, you can't remove AC from office buildings, because then it gets humid and that fucks with all the paper. Like, that's a huge reason. That was actually how AC was invented, like as a dehydration system in order to keep the air dry for paper. And then it just ended up having the side effect of keeping shit cool.
That's true, but the other aspects, such as big ass houses, bringing in the food, fucking, what else? We got these fans, comfortable clothing, warding off the enemies, the harsh realities of the real world,
like that's
wild animals.
Yeah, there's a lot there. I'm just thinking like say you're the CEO of a company that somehow still manages to justify having an office building instead of remote work. And you're like, I want to get rid of a whole bunch of my female staff, but I don't want them to sue me for discrimination.
Bitch, get rid of the AC.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, make the office as uncomfortable as possible so that all the women will just pack up and leave of their own accord.
Yeah, because that's how comfortable society has gotten in Western society. It's got to the point they're blaming fucking ACs.
Wait, I know. Take out the elevators.
Ooh, that's a good idea. A lot of them will lose weight.
That's the thing. Like, the guys will go, they'll be like, fuck it. The money's worth a little bit of extra exercise.
Yeah, this is my morning cardio. Fuck it.
Yeah. Whereas the women will go, fuck this shit, I'm out. And then, bam, they leave of their own accord, and then you can just hire like one dude, and that's your HR department.
Yeah, and also let's take away law enforcement, right? The defund the police bullshit, right? That's what the liberals, feminists is also within the liberal group. They wanted to defund the police. All right, let's take away majority of the police force.
Oh, that's the thing. I am absolutely 100% behind that. I'm no longer with like any guy that goes like, oh, well, there's some good cops. Like, not after these past 2 years. Every good cop has torn off their badge and left the force.
Yep, that happened in New York, Washington, Portland, definitely.
Every cop that remains will step on your face for a paycheck.
Yep. I'm just following orders.
Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
Fuck, I was hearing that shit literally out of cops' mouths back during the Occupy movement, so the shit hasn't changed. And any cop that remains a cop does not value your rights and freedoms over their paycheck.
But like, here's the crazy part, right? We got female police officers, which I also think is hilarious.
No, they're just ammo pickups.
Whoa, that one situation in Indianapolis where the
Yeah.
woman mistaken the gun for
You mean
the
taser
taser for a gun. Yeah, literally.
That's I think
And
that's what she said.
based on the video, I generally believe that she thought that was a taser.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Which I'm like, what the fuck?
Maybe I don't know the context, but I remember another female officer went to her home late at night. At least she thought it was her home. Saw a black dude sitting on the couch and shot him.
What was this case at? Do you know?
I don't remember exactly, but yeah, basically she went to what she thought was her home, ended up going to the floor above, opened the door because I guess this guy didn't lock his door, saw a black dude sitting on her couch, immediately pulled her gun and shot him.
That sounds familiar because I'm pretty sure it happened a few times. But it does sound familiar. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I forgot. But the main thing is, right, they were just getting this one kid, I forgot his name, because he had some type of warrant for his arrest or something, maybe.
Yeah.
And the kid was compliant at first, but then he tried to escape, go back to his car. And then because there was three cops in the scene, 2 male cops, 1 female cop. So while the 2 cops were trying to subdue the suspect, the female cop, out of nowhere, started pulling out her quote unquote taser. They're like, stop resisting, go out or I'll shoot, because she thought she had his taser. And then she's like, taser. Pow! Went straight through that gentleman's abdomen, sideways, like out. Pretty much through the abdomen sideways, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Like entering through the kidney area.
Turned his intestines to sausage, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And almost shot her co-worker on the other side of the car.
Yeah.
And the co-worker's like, what the fuck did you do? Like they were in shock. They're like, why'd you shoot him? What the fuck? It turns out that this female cop was in the force for 26 years.
Yeah, 26 years of desk work, probably.
Yep. That's how I automatically thought. I'm like, all right, admin work. She was doing admin work. There's no fucking way.
It's like all these women saying, like, oh, I work in finance. You're a secretary. You're not working in finance. You work for finance.
You're a teller. Like,
you work in communications. You work in customer service. You are not working in finance.
Yeah, you make sure you get our money from these customers. That's
you are a glorified telephone operator.
Speaking of the bragging, you know what? Let's talk about it right now. Because of the quote unquote patriarchy. Don't you guys love it when modern women, they love to brag about basic adult stuff? I got my own house. I pay my own bills. I'm independent. I'm like, ain't that what you're supposed to do? Like, what the fuck? Who gives a shit? And then, you see the comments on the social media saying, wow, yes, queen. Yeah, so empowering. Oh. I'm like, oh my God.
And that's because, well, that's the thing. I'm positive that it's very much a fake it till you make it kind of deal. Because let's be honest, how many women actually live completely independent from a man?
When it comes to relationship?
No, I'm talking even financially.
0.0000001%. Like literally 10 people, 10 women, maybe.
Like that, like that's the thing. Like the only thing I'd accept that like a woman saying I live independent from a man, meaning she either makes enough money without any government subsidies from her own personal business, or she has only female superiors within the company and no male coworkers.
Yep. The only way that she can even buy a house, in my opinion, is, at least in 2022, OnlyFans, divorce, trust fund kid, or just riding on loans like it's no tomorrow.
Yeah. Like OnlyFans dependent on men to make the website, dependent on male clients, let's say. Divorce from a man, trust fund, it's the father's money. Or government, which taxes are paid by men.
Yep. And from birth until death, women will always be relying on men, whether they like it or not. And that's why they hate us so much.
And that's why they do all this kind of bragging, like anything to appear like they achieve the impossible.
Give me 1 second. I'll carry on. You got anything to say?
Shit, man. It's true. Like, it's hard. Like, no one can actually say they're independent of most. Like, people that say they're self-made. Yeah, you can say that, but most of the time you got help from someone. So women, when they say they're completely got no help from a man at all, and they get their money from, like, I'm Mrs. Independent or that bullshit, it's like, yeah. Are you counting, like, you got money and you're making money, or were you counting, like, the people that helped you along the way, the people that taught you all that stuff, the people that gave you money when you were down? Are you counting those people? So, yeah, I don't. It's very, they're picky with the facts and the information that they're choosing.
That's the thing. I'd say, like, the independent woman is as much a myth as the self-taught artist. Because, like, okay, an artist says they're self-taught if they didn't get any formal education, but 99.99% of the time, there was someone that they watched tutorials on. There were books that they read. They didn't just go out, buy some pencils and some paint, and then teach themselves how to do it from absolute scratch. So they always had some kind of teacher, even if it wasn't a formal one. It's the same with the independent woman. Just because they aren't under some sort of structured setting receiving money directly from a man, they say they're independent, when it's like, no, there's just a couple extra steps between you and the man giving you money.
I could probably say an OnlyFans girl is independent because she's okay. Technically, it's like you're taking money from customers, like you're getting money from them, but you're selling them something.
No, I disagree, because she didn't make the infrastructure for OnlyFans.
Yeah, but that,
like,
okay.
Here's the if she was going around and, let's say, made a Facebook page where she advertised her own website that she made on, like, Wix or something.
Okay, yeah, that would be probably way more independent. But there's like, okay, I would say there's levels of independency. And the OnlyFans girl probably be more independent than most of the other independent, but she's selling her body.
So independent or interdependent, but between men and women.
Well, and that's the other thing, because you're still reliant on a male consumer base.
Right.
Yes.
And the man wants to get a nut.
That's true, but even still, like, there's a lot of men that can say that they're not dependent from women because a lot of companies are benefiting from women.
Well, okay, you do have a point there, because women are top consumers, and there's a lot of industries that would not exist without such a large female consumer base.
What, you're talking about makeup?
Let's, like, for example, let's say, makeup for one, most daytime television.
Yeah.
Like, Dr. Phil wouldn't be where he was without a female audience.
I wish this guy disappeared. Jesus.
But the top dogs in makeup and fashion that made all this happen is men.
Yes, but they require a female audience for their industry to exist at the level that it does.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, a woman's literal existence, her ability to live at the standard that she's able to today is because of men. Still, to this day.
Yeah, I say most of society is codependent. We feed off each other. We're not trying to consume completely one person.
Okay, well, that's where we go around, though, because then it's like, okay, well, where are these men and women getting the money? Because the men getting the money for OnlyFans, they're putting in the labor. the women buying handbags, how many of them needed to get that money from a man?
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's equal. I think that's what happened. It's exchange of goods and services and all that crap.
Yeah,
Doesn't
like we
have to
still
be
have
equal.
men creating the primary amount of value and women spending the primary amount of value.
Yeah, I'll say that.
Yep. I definitely liking this conversation because we need to establish the fact that even though we do feed off each other, we are interdependent. It is very one-sided, and it's pretty much backwards in today's society because originally men only need women, like keyword need women for reproduction. Women need men for reproduction and survival. That's the only difference. That's pretty much what uh makes women pretty upset, right? Very annoyed, very mad that they know that they need men to survive. They have no choice.
Yeah.
You know, to today's world, the rules can be changed. But until, shit goes crazy like Ukraine.
Oh, I
On the
can't say
fundamental
that.
level, it's resources and security, i.e., survival, exchanged for fertility.
Yep. And she wants the best possible mate and security, for that to even happen. She needs to have men on her side to protect her from other men that don't give a fuck.
Yeah, the problem is their evaluation of a good fertile mate is based entirely on emotion. They only really get logical when it comes to resource acquisition.
You mean
And
divorce?
usually they need to get into a pretty fucked up situation before they even think about that.
Or how many felonies that guy have.
And they'll still want to fuck that guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like, oh, you got a murder charge? What? And you beat the case? Nice.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think that ties into security and resource acquisition.
I'm like, bitch, this dude just killed 4 women. Yeah, I know, but still. Like, you stupid motherfucker.
Hey, like women love Chris Brown. Like women love Chris Brown, but Chris Brown has Chris Brown has a history.
Chris Brown, he definitely a history, but they definitely don't care with the amount of money and fame he has.
Honestly, that's the thing. Chances are fewer women, I guess the only difference is I think women would still want Chris Brown if he was broke and unknown, just fewer women because they wouldn't know about him as much.
Right. And
But like if he was known like around his local neighborhood for doing that stuff, then he'd probably be getting top swipes on Tinder if you put it in his bio.
Exactly. And you guys remember the model guy, the mugshot model guy?
Yo, my
This mix guy, I think he's mix. I could bring him a picture. Yeah. He took a mugshot and he was an internet sensation. He's a criminal. He's a known criminal. He's been a criminal for years. And just because of how he looked, the women threw all their morals and values out the window, if they had any, right?
Key point, if they had any to begin with.
And now he is a successful model.
Yeah, I think he has blue eyes and like he's mixed.
Yeah, what GG2H said, blue or green eyes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And that's the crazy part. And yeah, that's another example, right? The infamous serial killer Ted Bundy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And what's it called? Don't get me wrong, Ted Bundy can also be an exception because he was very good at hiding his nature. Very good. Too good.
Yeah, well, so are women.
Well, yeah, which is, okay, I ain't going to go far with the joke. I almost said a joke. But with Ted Bundy, I don't think anybody knew what he was doing until, he got caught. It's I say he's the exception. I'm talking about like a known person that's a convict. multiple felonies, robbery, sexual assault, what's it called? Assault, literally beating people up, etc. And they're known about it. But these women, of course, they don't give a shit.
That's the
Right.
thing. That's the thing. It's not that they don't give a shit. They give a shit in the positive direction.
Yeah. I misspoke the word, right? They
Yeah.
don't give a shit about the negative consequences.
Yeah.
That may happen to her.
That's the thing. They all think that they're the exception.
Yep. They all have this little bubble, like their own utopia in their minds.
I used to watch those that channel ID. They're all about like people killing each other and that crap. And you watch it, like a lot of weird shit happens. Like if someone dies and like a husband and wife, the wife is or the husband's normally the person behind the like the stuff, and it's like people do all this crazy shit. Like oh my days, like women will like give them like letters, a whole bunch of letters, like to murderers and stuff like that. It's like wow. Normally say, you wouldn't want to be around that person. This person is psycho. It's not like they're just like a gangster or anything. Like they're just going around killing people. It's like people give them that. It's like, what the hell is wrong with people? Like, what's not working in their head for them to be, or what's working in their head for them to be attracted to something like that?
Yeah, I'm gonna read this right quick. Yeah, the Bronze Age, a violent brute will be an asset. I agree. These days, they don't realize how many times they can kill a woman by the time 911 arrives. No, they really can't fathom in 2022 on how quick they can be deleted with a man that's very pissed off.
Well, that's the thing. If we look at the hierarchy of males, women value a man with a literal body count over a man who was cheated on.
Yeah, they all say they don't want a man that's inexperienced, like that's a virgin or
No,
whatever.
I'm talking like an actual like buried in the backyard body count.
Oh, you're talking about the other thing. See, look at that.
he was talking
Mixing
about
metaphors
Call of Duty.
there.
I thought you were talking
Call
about the
of
sex
Duty body
part.
count.
So when it comes to kills, yes, well, yeah, since the beginning of time, they do see that as attractive of a man that can hold their own. But women in 2022, that's the complete difference between women back then and now.
Well, but keep in mind, like women think that just because a man sleeps with them, he wants to commit to them.
No, especially now, fucking killer.
Well, no, but that's the thing. They feel that. That's why they get all pissed off when Chad and Tyrone fucking like ditches their ass after like giving them a wild night, because they thought that they spread their legs for him. He jumped in there. That must mean that he wants her. They probably think that the gash between their legs is good enough that if they think that there's no way a guy who fucks them is going to kill them.
Nope. But once again, with women of 22, the attitude of women today is drastically different from back then. Now they honestly think that they can go up to a man who's probably a killer, 6 foot, 220 pounds, way bigger than her. She thinks she could just walk up to him and confront him like she was a grown-ass man herself. And then act shocked when the bad boy, the killer, treats her like a man, Like, all right, you want to step up to me? Like, I don't give a fuck, right? Because once again, confrontation between men, that's how our testosterone start flowing. Like, wait, hey, like, hold on, man. Like, hey, you need to relax, right? And men, we get heated, yes, but when it comes to modern women, they take it over the top because they really think that nothing's going to happen to them because of societal pressures, law enforcement, government.
Now, I'm not thinking that they even think that far ahead. I think they think nothing's going to happen because nothing has happened. Yeah. No, not because cops, But
Well, no,
chances
there's
are,
plenty of women.
until that point in their life, what were the men that they'd step to? Either their fathers,
Brothers.
or brothers, or like just other,
what?
or like other kind of men in the neighborhood.
Yeah, fathers and brothers. Yeah, I understand because they ain't trying to fuck. But other men, I see what you're saying.
Like when they're kids. Like keep in mind, women also develop earlier than men. So like if you have a bunch of, I don't know, middle schoolers, the woman, especially in the middle school setting, can probably get away being an absolute bitch. Yeah. And the guys won't do jack shit to her. She's not thinking, oh, it's because the teachers. Oh, it's because the cops. No, she's thinking it's because of her.
I see where you're coming from. Yeah, I do see where you're coming from when it comes to that. Because it's socially unacceptable to kick the shit out of her if she crosses that line.
Yeah, and it's not until they get to proper adult out of the house and then they start pulling this shit with complete randos who don't give a fuck. That's the first time in their decade and a half plus of life that they're actually served consequences.
Yeah, and in the end, they really think that, calling the cops is going to do something. Like, if a man has to go that far to wanting to hurt a woman,
I think they call the cops. I think they're just calling for help in general.
Help, cops, anything, right? Anything that they can get, right? But they honestly, do you really think that man will likely back off? I ain't talking about the average man, that like, oh, okay, I probably went a little bit too far. No, we talking about the thugs and felons. They're going like it's not that hard to take 30 seconds, maybe. Yeah, I say around 30 seconds.
Not even. One good deck to the face, you're down. If you fall wrong, you're dead.
Yep.
A man can kill you in 2 seconds less. All he's got to do is just get the time it takes for him to give you one good punch to the head. That can be fatal.
Yep. And just imagine, okay, this bad boy is over 6 feet, 200-something pounds. And she's like probably 5'3", 5'4", maybe 110, 20 pounds. I'm talking about the minority of women. I ain't talking about
okay. Yeah, like the 5'4", 170 pound ones.
Yeah. We ain't talking about those war pigs. Ugh. But the minority of women in the West, that's actually petite or not fat.
Yeah, those are the ones who are probably so used to not being stepped to because guys are simps. And then the first time they step to a non-simp, they get harshly corrected.
Exactly. I agree. Yeah. And if that guy is that big and she's that fucking small, she really thinks that she has a chance? Like, come on. Like, not even a man her size won't really have. Like, he will fight, a lot better, but not as much.
It could actually be a kind of shit test. Like this. Okay, this is something that kind of ran through PUA circles. Have you heard of negging?
Nagging?
Negging. Negging. Like
shut up, Meg type shit, or
no. Neg.
Oh, negging. Okay. No, I haven't heard about that.
All right. Well, it's basically the idea that if you open your conversation with a girl with kind of a backhanded insult kind of deal or a backhanded compliment, then you make her feel insecure and she's more attracted to you, trying to prove that like she's worthwhile to you.
Chasing that validation.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering, is it kind of the same thing with guys? Like, do they step to a guy because they're attracted to him and want to see whether or not he's going to take her bullshit? Because I guarantee you that after she took that fist to the face and got knocked the fuck out, she had wet dreams about that shit.
Yep. And if not, she won't dare to step up on him again. because she had a taste of what he can do.
1 sec, guys. Gotta step out for a sec for dinner. Be right back.
All right, it's all good. So carry on. Well, do you have anything to say about that so far?
But Megan, like, there has to be some evidence of biological certain traits that we don't know why people do it. It's like, yes, that doesn't make sense. Why would they do that? It has to be some biological reason for it that we don't know. Like, it makes logic biologically in the past, like thousands of years ago. But now that we don't have those conditions that were around it anymore, those like it's like having a machine, but it has some components that are not working because the game's changed. So it's like,
Well-
yeah, your car's fast, but it has certain things that are dragging it back, and like you can't replace those because you don't have the equipment to change it. So that's how biology is. Like societies and cultures evolve way faster than biology.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think it's because is if he can't stand up for himself, if she acts up, how does she expect him to stand up for her?
Yeah,
Kind of like that.
but yeah, that makes sense some way. But like most guys will probably fight if their woman was in danger, even if there's someone's bigger than them. They're probably like they wouldn't. They know they'll probably lose, but they'll try and make sure that she gets away. But for a woman, they don't see her like they find out that he's dead. So if he dies, then what's the point of being with him if he's gonna die protecting you in the end?
Yes, I definitely I agree. Generic dreamers. Back in the Bronze Age, we had honor-based justice. If a brute killed his woman, he had her father, brother, uncles, and cousins to worry about. Nowadays, they all rely on the law. I agree. I agree. Back then, not even like what 100, 150 years ago, you were able to dish out quick justice to a dude that's trying to put harm on your sister, your mother, your aunt.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Carry on.
Actually, I had a teacher. I don't know why my teacher told me this, but his sister married this guy, and after that, he found out she was getting abused by him and hit all that stuff. So he took out his brother-in-law to the woods, and all I know is that he beat the shit out of him with his cousin and shit like that. So I was just like, that. So it still happens in certain like places that people will fuck up people that like mess around with their family members. But if that happens, the police are gonna come and it's like, that's not your job, it's our job and not bullshit like that. But it's like they would do with this stuff and after like some guys would get a restart or some women like so like the police can say they can do the job and all that bullshit, but when they get there, shit's already happened. And probably people are dead or the damage is already done.
Right. They truly they truly forget how quick shit can happen. Like
Yeah.
you don't need because cops are usually on average 6 minutes away.
6 minutes.
That's
Depending how fast they go.
That's actually good time. Like maybe if you're in the city where there's a cop on every street corner or something.
Okay, I'll give it 10 minutes tops. I'm talking about them just speeding through the nearest, depending on the the location of the nearest cop and how fast traffic gets out the way so he can like zoom through the streets to get to you.
Okay, and that's still assuming an urban environment. Like you can be easily 15 minutes away plus from the nearest cop under optimal circumstances.
Right, like I said, mainly it's all about where the nearest cop is located, where they, dispatch that cop like, hey, go to this area. It's near your, or this situation is happening in your district or whatever. Go over there. It all depends on. There's a lot of variables, but I'll up it up. 15 minutes max. Okay, 15. That's it.
Yeah, but I also feel like
because I never dealt with a cop, which I know it happens where cops take fucking forever to get to the house, right? Especially, fun fact, chat, cops go as fast as they deem how dangerous the situation is. Unfortunately, especially with DV, domestic violence. they don't really go as fast. They don't. But with something like murder, robbery, uh, kidnapping, etc., you know, the more heinous crimes in the eyes of the law, that's where they'll go super duper fast. So it's unfortunate, I know. But in the end, though, yeah, it won't take long. Just 2 minutes tops for a man to eliminate the target.
2 minutes? Nah.
That faster.
I'm just
than
saying, like if she's like actually putting up a fight or whatever, or running around the fucking house like crazy, you know, somehow she injures you with an object, you know.
Yeah.
I'm talking about variables, 2 minutes tops.
Okay, like that's like the best situation. Okay, could be.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that,
why I
that's,
said, like,
she's
that's why I
really,
said 2
she's
minutes.
really got to be putting up a good fight.
That's
Because
what I'm saying. That's why I said 2 minutes tops.
Well, it just
Yeah.
like
tops.
yeah, well, let's look at like minimum. We're looking at a variation of like 5 seconds to 2 minutes.
Right,
Yeah.
because once again, it's all about how do I say? Because at times the man could be furious and he could be at a different location, not in the house, right? So he could be like, you know what, I'm coming for you, bitch, and you know, zooming over to her place, or she locked herself in the bathroom and that guy is, you know, not strong enough at the time or just unable to kick down the door, you know, that type of crazy shit, or it takes too long to kick the door down. You know, all these variables. That's why I said just 2 minutes. Just 2. But usually within those 2 minutes, she won't live.
Yeah.
Usually.
Last thing, normally they don't give themselves that much space. Like unless she like sends a pretty shitty text or a bad phone call to a guy, that's the only time then she's gonna get any fucking breathing room. Because most of the time these incidents happen when they're right next to each other and she crosses a fucking line.
Yeah, people can die and like people can just like get. I've seen like videos of people getting pushed by like adult getting pushed by a child and dying and stuff like that because they hit the head in the weird angle and stuff like that. So like even a big person is fragile. Like people forget how fragile the human body is. Like yeah, you see boxing and all that stuff. Like they're not trying to actually like harm the person, put them to death. But if they were, like you just hit them in the head in a weird angle or somewhere like that. Someone gets a concussion, they ain't waking up for a long period of time.
I say how fragile the human body is because usually the person doesn't see it coming. That's when the fragile thing comes in, right? But if a person is able to anticipate and fight for their life, the human body could be durable to anticipate the danger. But if that person gets caught off guard, I see how you crumble like a fucking crouton.
Well, that's the funny thing. Like I've seen a guy get attacked with an axe unawares. And because all the axe shots were more or less going towards the torso area, I don't even know if he died from it, but he lasted like for a while before the video cut out. And he took like multiple fucking axe wounds. But I'm thinking like if it's a serious situation, all you need is like imagine an MMA fight with grappling allowed, where there's grappling allowed, but you have like a granite countertop in the arena.
Right.
Like you grab someone, like, and it's a heavyweight versus a lightweight. You just grab them by the throat or skull, deliver that to the countertop. They're at the very least they're unconscious.
But in the end, right, everything that keeps a woman safe, like what we talked about, right, like with the police and male family members and etc., you know, the very same men that they rely on to survive, they shit on a daily basis.
Yeah. I feel like some people don't realize that patriarchy is the most beneficial form for society to start to grow because it's literally just taking the natural order of things and making them into a code of conduct so it doesn't fuck around with people. Think like this. why would it matter if the child has your last name or something? Like, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It kind of does. So like this, why would I put investment into a child I don't know is mine? And if I raise a child, let's just say in the wild, I raise a child for like, it becomes an adult, and I realize the child doesn't belong to me because it doesn't look like me.
I agree. Yeah,
The child's dead. The woman's dead probably, or she's forced to give me an actual child, and that will probably be like in a pure based natural world. That will most likely what happens.
Yeah, it's not in a man's biological, you know, priority to even raise another kid. No, his resources only supposed to be going to his bloodline only.
And that's why I think stepfathers are dangerous, even to male children.
Yeah, because back then, what happened to kids that are not yours.
Yeah,
and when you raid a village or a tribe.
Oh yeah, like do you know like people like Genghis Khan raised like a child that wasn't his, but everyone was like, that's surprising. It was so rare for someone to actually raise a child that's not theirs, that belongs to like one of their women.
Yeah, Genghis Khan was a horn dog.
Oh no, like, well, he was more sane before like people kept on fucking with him.
Well, that's the thing. Like sometimes like when it comes to powerful men, raising a child that isn't your own, depending on the child, that can be useful for political connections. There was a lot of exchange of children back in the day in order to keep the peace. Like, hey, you send me one of your children, I'll send you one of my children, and that way we're not going to go to war.
So are they held hostage or just part of the family?
It's hostage.
Both.
Oh, all right.
Like you're a hostage. Like you are a political hostage, yeah, but you're not like locked away in a tower. You are treated as a family member. The honored guest.
It can depend. Like we know that Vlad the Impaler, he was technically treated in like that situation, but he saw like how the Ottoman Empire was kind of fucked up, and that's what made him kind of go crazy and all that shit.
Yeah, it's variation, but throughout most of the time, like that's the thing. You didn't mistreat the hostage you had because the other guy had a hostage too.
Yeah.
But before we finish this conversation, if you guys want to support the channel or the Warband, if you want to send a super chat, if you want to send a donation just because, please click on the link on top of the chat that pinned and donate to paypal.me/Yeetus. All donations are appreciated. Okay, we're going to hone in on this topic because Undead Chronic is going to be on soon. I'm going to be a guest on there. Yeah, fuck it. But what were we talking about?
Okay. Patriarchy is not as evil as women made it out to be. Most of the women and men in society before had a pretty decent lifestyle, and there was a lot of rules for people fucking around with women and people fucking around with men. It was like, hey, no one's going to do this fuck shit. We're going to follow these rules so society runs smooth and clean. No dirty, no foul play. That was the rule. And after it's like, okay, let's bend this rule. We're gonna not deny nature and say we're gonna let humans just have free will. We have free will and have no consequences. People just got to a point that we're like, yeah, we lived so far that we didn't know the reason why we had these rules. So it's like someone says, hey, don't go to this place. It's dangerous. No one knows why it's dangerous. 100 years go by. It's like, people are like, oh, we don't know how it's dangerous. Just sort of go there. The place is irradiated as hell. Everyone that goes inside gets cancer and dies. So people are like, oh, let's not go there. And people are going to forget, keep on going unless they find out the reason why not to go there again. And that's what I feel like feminism is. It's took away patriarchy and said it was evil because they didn't know why they had such rules enforced, and it was forced to stop the bullshit from men and women from going rampant.
Yeah, the patriarchy holds women accountable, and they hate that so much.
That's the thing. I wouldn't say that the patriarchy holds them accountable. It more so prevents them from making like the poor decisions.
Right. And if they make the poor decisions, at least back then, they definitely get punished, more socially than.
What's the thing? They had to be made examples of to act as a demonstration
Yeah,
to the other. And even then, like, that was often a kindness. Like, if a woman fucks up and then she's socially punished, okay. But then like, she actually has the chance to course correct. You take away that social punishment and stigma. Not only does that not discourage other women from making the same decisions, but the consequences are able to snowball into something extremely vast. Like, that's the thing. Like, if a woman fucking steps outside of her marriage and then becomes known as an adulteress, okay, that's bad. But then you have fucking nowadays where it's hypergonosyphilades and the 1,000-cock stare.
Yeah. No man. Like once again, she does step out of the marriage. At least back then, she doesn't get anything. If she's known as the adulterer, right? So now she has no money, right?
Well, and she can. That's the thing. And she can like still leave town. And taking one, maybe even a handful of extra dicks, that's not as bad as taking triple digits worth of dick.
Yeah, I agree. And but along with the triple shalons, right? Digits, the family doesn't want her within the family anymore. No man will ever take her seriously if she's known as that person.
That's usually why she's got to skip town.
Yep.
Yeah, she's done.
Because she can't support. Like there were a good amount of the streetwalkers, or they want to go to the brothels or whatever, is because they can't. First off, they can't support themselves because of their bad decisions, right? So they skip town, and more than likely, that's all they can do is become a streetwalker.
Yeah, right? if they can't hook another man.
Right.
Which is the thing. Some of them did, and they did manage to make a slightly okay life for themselves. But that's the thing. But like, that was because there were these punishments. Nowadays, when there's no punishment, you have women who are absolutely broken before they hit 30.
STDs are rampant as hell.
Yeah.
Give me a second. Okay.
So, yeah.
When it comes to, the punishment, right? We see it all the time on social media and in real life. That's the result of not keeping the women in check when it comes to their actions and decisions. Because like what the Holy Scriptures said, a woman left with their own devices are self-destructive. And plus, the fact that people from thousands of years ago said, hey, control these thoughts. That should have been a red flag, but it should have been a big warning right there. Hey.
That's why the government had to get involved with the church and bind it with various exceptions that they could control the messaging.
Yep, because they ain't taking care of all these kids with their own money. Fuck that.
Mm-mm.
They want you to pay. Oh man, it is insane these days. How contradicting oxymoron. Their lifestyle is literally an oxymoron. Western women, because how can you be a strong and independent victim? Somehow they made it.
Yeah. Yeah, they are strong victims.
Yeah,
like what the fuck?
Doesn't make sense. Well,
it doesn't.
It makes sense, it makes sense, but it's like twisted. It's like hot fire, like hot ice. Technically, that's not ice anymore. If it's made out of water or something like that. So it's like it makes no logical sense.
That's why I call their lifestyle an oxymoron, because it sounds like it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. Like it.
That's the thing. The phenomenon, I believe, is cognitive dissonance. When you hold two opposing ideas simultaneously, it's a big part of breaking people. I believe it's even mentioned in 1984, where you have to believe that
Men or women and women or men?
no, it's more so. I can't remember the exact example, but it's basically you have to believe a lie, knowing it to be a lie, but you still have to believe and act as though it's true.
Literal 1984. Literal 1984. What's up?
Yeah.
God
Oh, you got to
damn,
remember, 1984 wasn't just pulled out of someone's ass. It was like he saw these things being practiced and turned it into a book. So,
Rishi, what's your thoughts on the topic today? About about women shitting on the very same system that's keeping them alive, pretty much. The patriarchy. Ooh.
Well, I mean, yeah, they have to. Like, they're like delusional. So, like,
Yeah.
they live in like a fantasy land. They're like literally LARPing, acting like men when they're like supported. Like, we're like Atlas, keeping the fantasy going for the sake of like children playing like make believe. It's kind of retarded.
Yep. That's why Gray made a good point that I do want to make a topic about is cognitive dissonance. Just can't even say it.
Yeah, LARPing's that cognitive dissonance. Yeah, LARPing's actually a good example because, like, that you're a person who lives in a mundane, non-magical world where humans are the only sapient species. But for a couple hours, couple days at a time, depending on your LARP group, like you get to believe that you're a vampire or an elf or a cat person. And you're casting spells when really you're just throwing bags of birdseed.
Great, I didn't know you were racist.
Discombobulated.
Racist, man. He just said mushrooms aren't real and skeletons.
Yeah, Rishi, how does he always know that you're on?
What? Who?
Oh, producer Tim.
Oh yeah, he's my stalker. He's here to remind me that I'm not real. I mean, he's right, by the way. I'm not a real mushroom, Yeetus. I am like I'm not even real. Like, I don't exist.
He's Rishi is the collective hallucination of all of us.
Yes.
Tim's trying to get us to break out of the Rishi matrix.
Hey, do not pay attention to the McTown podcast. Pay no attention. Pay no attention to the people that tell you I'm not real.
Thank you for reminding me about that video. I have to watch.
I'm just bringing the energy. I don't know what you're talking about.
No. The video with the scene from
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes, yeah. That video still makes me laugh to this day.
Discombobulated.
But I agree with this. They how they think is, which is why I tell people don't. Well, that's what people have been saying for thousands of years. Like, don't bother trying to understand women, right? Even women don't know what the fuck they're doing, right? Because their mindset, the way that they think, is just so insane. It's like, are they doing this on purpose, or is this how they actually are? And sometimes you can't tell the difference.
Well, that's the thing. Did you ever you've seen Aladdin, right? Disney's Aladdin?
Yeah.
Remember how Jasmine, she thinks of herself as a bird in a cage, and she lets them all out, and she wants to be beyond the palace walls. and then she's basically outside the walls for a couple hours and is about to have her hand cut off.
Yeah. The cage wasn't there to like trap her, it was there to protect you from what's outside. You think it's a cage, but it's actually a wall protecting you from the monsters.
Like that's the thing. Like these women, they all think that they're birds in cages, and their true potential is being kept restricted. Oh, I want to be free and fly. And it's like there's fucking shit out there that's gonna eat you.
Literally, there's a whole fucking polar bear. I don't know why he's in the Middle East, but there's a polar bear waiting for you.
You hate your cage until the fucking cat wanders into the room.
Yeah.
And what he means by cat is a whole tiger.
Oh shit! I'm thinking like freaking like tiny like I'm not thinking like a freaking eagle or anything bird. No, I'm thinking like those tiny little songbirds. But then and that's the thing. But like then they get out. And then it's like there's this army of men, like army of people constantly trying to fend off everything. Like we just expanded the cage bigger and made it more expensive to maintain.
But it's bigger, but there's holes in it. There's holes in the cage now. And these animals can creep in, catch a bird, disappear. Oh, when she comes back, she's totally messed up. And you're like, what the fuck happened to you?
That's the thing. Like even with the Ukraine situation where the cage should have broken. No, then the entire world gets in on it to provide fucking safety and shelter.
Yeah, but it's
literally the entire fucking world order has to collapse before these women will actually experience the full brunt of consequences.
Okay, I'll say majority of them, but some of them are just like I'm not sure of this, but I definitely could say there's some Ukrainian women that have disappeared. And no one knows where they are now.
Oh yeah, no, tons definitely have. There's no question of that.
So it's like, yeah, the cage
but that's the thing. They disappeared. No, like we need to fucking have a pile of goddamn bodies to show them what happens. But we keep trying to shelter them to greater and greater extents, and they keep fucking up more and more. Like it'd be easier if we were like, oh, you want out of your cage? Okay, here's the mangled corpse of the last thing that left its cage. You still want to get out?
Right. Like shit. Like no, there's men out there that will love the luxury of being trapped in a cage, aka a fucking palace. But we don't have that luxury. We have to go there. We have to go out there. Explore, make a name for ourselves, accomplish something. And face those dangers.
What's the thing? There are plenty of men that will choose the slavery of society and like the lack of freedom. There's plenty of men that choose security over freedom.
Yeah, there's plenty of men that would, especially in today's society, that would much rather have that security. But
those men are weak. They're feminine.
Yeah, they're weak.
They're raised that way.
Yep,
they're fed all these like fucking processed food and forced to take like estrogen sometimes.
I hear. Drink this protein, bro.
Yeah.
Just drink it. No, I got my soy.
But that's
my
the thing.
Soy's right here.
Men are the only ones who have the option of freedom.
They can't.
Women don't even have the option. They need a cage or they die.
What'd you say, Rishi?
They can't even open the soy. They have to have their little crank handles. My soy bottle. I can't open my soy.
Is this vegetarian?
It's kind of getting ridiculous.
No, it has to be vegan.
They're not even considering robotics. It's like robot overlord, please open my soy bottle.
Yeah, I can agree with that, but I believe that there was a lot of men like that throughout history. It's not a new phenomenon. It's just way more amplified, so to say.
I agree, Lolo. I ain't saying your last name. But I never heard about no kingdom without a wall. Yep, I agree 100%.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Even
today,
there always needs to be some form of wall.
Yeah.
Line defense.
Country without borders, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
No country.
And that's because like a kingdom is really just a collective of men. That's the thing. Like even lions have walls because that's where they fucking piss. They piss to mark the edges of their territory. If I can reach, if I can get there and fucking mark it with my scent, that's my territory. You cross that territory, I'm gonna fucking mark you.
Yep, and our walls for the kingdom is literally our military force. Literally.
Yeah.
And luckily,
it can be physical walls, but
Oh,
when it gets to
really
the size of the U.S.,
Yeah,
I think it's going to take more than one Trump to build that wall.
yeah, and not too many people do walls anymore, per se. You know, in the developed countries, they just put a lot of military and technologies along the coast.
Well, even in the
Border.
old days, like natural formations such as rivers, those would often serve as just the natural borders between. Because like, yeah, it's like that's the wall. Like if I have to cross that river to fuck shit up, I'm at a disadvantage. If you have to cross the river to fuck shit up, you're at a disadvantage. So let's just make the river our boundary and not fight over it.
That's why island nations don't need to make no borders.
Unicellular beings made up of one cell have a wall. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Cell membrane. Heck, even your DNA has a wall, the nucleus. Your genetic code has a wall.
Yeah, so all this, we should have had borders. Shut the fuck up.
I don't want borders. It'll be fun. I get to go to one country, disappear. Some people disappear. I come back. No one knows what happens. It'll be fun.
I mean, to be
kidnapped.
I mean, to be fair, anyone who says we shouldn't have borders, are like, all right, what's your address? I want some food.
Yeah,
and your
I'm
TV.
coming to your house right now.
That's what I'm like. Every time I
See,
like,
I have borders, I have walls, but if you don't think we should have borders, post your address because I suspect that there's a bunch of free shit there.
Yeah,
apparently someone just left some free shit out in public.
Like, you know what? Hey, I'm gonna use your bathroom right now. I'm gonna take a big old shit. They just leave.
Oh fuck! Why the fuck would you bother with their bathroom? The whole house is their bathroom. It's public property.
Damn. Our bathroom.
Yeah, you see that room where there's this bed and you see you got the pillow right there? Yeah, that's my new bathroom right now.
You gotta play the Russian anthem. But yeah, it's ridiculous. Everybody has a line of defense to protect themselves, but these women, they really want to have this utopia because it's mainly women saying that no borders bullshit. I'm like, really? All right, okay, let's just bring in all the cartels and
they just realize that the more men that they can physically manipulate, the more men in close proximity to them, the greater their power.
Well,
right.
I don't think it's all of that. Sometimes it's just bleeding hearts and believe, if we do this, we'll save the world and the world will become a better place. It's like,
that's the thing. How much of bleeding heart stuff is just things that they think it's always a question with women. How much do they actually believe and how much are they just saying for social approval?
Yeah, we're not sure unless we start reading minds, but I ain't going to be able to do that.
It's crazy, though. It's crazy, you know. They want all these type of people, don't know what their background is, you know. Like, you know, these men that are coming over the border, they literally hack children to death.
You're talking to the same women that will gladly fuck those men.
Like, are you really, really? Like, you really
those are probably the men they want the most.
Like, you know, he can kill you, right? You see that machete in his hand, right? You still gonna
but he won't because I'm pretty and he'll want to fuck me, so he won't kill me.
No, the blood literally is fresh blood on that machete. What the fuck are you doing?
No. It's okay. He loves me. He loves me. He said that we'd be together forever as he turned on the oven and started setting it to pork. I don't understand why, but
did you know what's the funniest thing? That's why they have this savior complex. That's why I know men have it too, but it's way less likely. How they go to random tribes in some third world countries preaching about Christianity and shit, you know, and they end up dead.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? You really believe
dead and eaten?
What?
Dead and eaten.
Yeah, eaten too. Yeah. I'm like, you really believe these tribes want some random person they never even seen before. That's
They
pale
can't
as
even
fuck.
understand your language, and you're going to try to preach at them?
Yeah, and you're white as hell. Okay, that's the biggest thing. You're white. All right, they've never seen your skin color before. These are tribes that's been minding their own business this whole time. And you miss a female version of Christopher Columbus. Want to go over there and you want to talk about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? Like,
Actually, I think there's a country or like island somewhere in the South Pacific Ocean where there's like a nose goes up because people that are like will shoot you as soon as you come close to them or something like that.
They rather feel right than actually be right. Yep. And feeling right got them killed. That's why patriarchy is nice, ain't it, ladies? Oh, shit.
That caged birds.
Yeah, I want to do whatever I want. Oh, shit, there's a shark. Man, help me. Help me. Like, nah, I'm good. I'm just going to watch you get torn apart by the shark. Because you dumb bitch, I told you not to get in the water.
Like, you see, I got 5 caged birds. So I'm going to let you out, and you're going to be an example to the other 4.
Oh. That's not a bad idea, actually. Now look what happened to her. Look. But, all right, guys. This is going to be the end of the live stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. There definitely will be another live stream tomorrow because I do want to talk about the cognitive dissonance. That's a very good topic. I'm going to put up some points about it too because you have to try to understand how the female thought process works. But thank you for joining the stream. This is Sir Yeetus. Hopefully you guys had your daily dose of red pills and oh, you a bitch,
My boy.
Everybody,
Glass of liquor.
go over to Under Chronic's live stream. It's on right now. Go over to Under Chronic's live stream.
All right, see you there, Yeet.
Peace.
Unity.